Hey, my fabulous caregiver friends. Today I want to talk a little bit about sundowning or sundowning syndrome. What in the heck is sundowning? It seems like a really big mystery and sounds super duper complicated. And I used to get really confused about this myself. But the truth is, it's really not that complicated. Sometimes families are often not clear on what sundowning is or how to handle it. Most doctors don't even have the knowledge or the time to help spend time with the families or the skills to handle these really devastating episodes of behaviors or reactions. Every day around the same time, she just loses it, right? For no reason. It's like the person has just gone insane. All of a sudden, your loved one is acting like just a crazy maniac. But why? What's actually happening? What's happening in the brain? Why are these symptoms just compounded and erupting later in the day? So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what sundowning is, and hopefully a lot of the other videos will help you how to manage those symptoms. But sundowning is actually a group of symptoms and behaviors. And by the way, I really hate that word behaviors because it's really not a behavior. It's a reaction to something else. They're having a reaction that makes them behave in a certain way. So I really don't like the word behaviors. But anyway, it's a group of symptoms or reactions that a person with dementia suffers later in the day, like in the afternoon or the evening. And these can continue throughout the entire overnight. And it typically begins around the time that the sun goes down. So approximately a quarter of people with Alzheimer's will have sundowning, and it will develop during typically the middle to the later stages of dementia. Researchers don't really know the exact cause, but it's really been quite the debate between doctors and researchers for quite a long time. But some medical professionals, they believe that it has something to do with the internal clock or our circadian rhythm, which helps us differentiate daytime from nighttime. So it's kind of where our internal clock gets all mixed up. The person with dementia symptoms are much more intense than usual if they are sundowning. So basically, it's a period of time when the person with dementia has a really elevated spike in their reactions, behaviors, and their confusion. So, but what causes sundowning? Like, why does this happen? So again, controversial, many different reasons why people believe, but some believe that it is just simply exhaustion. And towards the end of the day, they're just getting tireder. Therefore, they're having more behaviors or reactions. And others believe that it's due to the changes in lighting, which in turn causes more disorientation and peaks people's agitation levels. Things like increased shadows can disorient and confuse a person with dementia. They cannot orientate to their surroundings. Shadows and glare or even lighting can make a person have a harder time making sense of their environment. So whatever the reason is, there are things that we can do to significantly reduce these behaviors. When we're at this stage of the disease process, the cells of the temporal and the parietal lobes of the brain are affected. The person will have difficulty with their visual and how they perceive things in a three-dimensional way. This impairment alone can lead to behaviors and acting out inappropriately. The brain can no longer coordinate the information taken in by all of our senses, and that can also throw them off balance. Have you ever observed your loved one, pardon me, having a significant contrast in behaviors from morning to late afternoon or into the evening hours? Well, they could be sundowning. So now let's take a look at the symptoms that we should be looking for that might alert us that our loved one is suffering from sundowning or sundown syndrome. Symptoms can include anxiety, extra confusion, fatigue, anger or outbursts. They might start wandering or trying to exit seek, pacing. They might have delusions or hallucinations, screaming and yelling, or disorientation and being suspicious of others. Holy cow. That's some intense symptoms, right? The burden of sundowning can be very, very challenging for family members, caregivers, and staff and communities. The most important thing to remember is this too shall pass. People who are suffering from dementia, they require more sleep. However, limiting naps to about an hour will help to keep the circadian rhythm on the right track. Therefore, not staying up all night and keeping you up all night. In addition to the symptoms that we've already mentioned, people can have difficulty differentiating dreams from reality. Shadows that are cast by the sun that is going down can be confusing and disorientating to the person with dementia, even frightening. So keeping the blinds closed to reduce shadows and turning on all the lights is one solution. During these heightened episodes, keep the environment quiet. Try to reduce the stimulation around them and limit background noises. If the person is pacing, they might need an activity, or just let them be. They might just feel like they have to move, okay? The sundowning person may follow you around closely and repeat the same question over and over. And by the way, I have another video on that. It's not about the question. It's about the concern behind the question. In most cases, they're afraid. They feel like they should be doing something, but they can't initiate, right? So they just don't know what to do with themselves. Try to engage them in an activity. And I know we're always saying direct to an activity, but you guys are not watching the activity videos. I know because it tells me how many they're watched. You got to watch those activity videos. They're going to save your life. I'm telling you. Okay, anyway. So get them involved in an activity, or ask them if they will help you with something that's really important. Don't forget to add that, hey, this is really important. I need your expertise on this task, even if it's folding towels. Tell them how important it is. We got to build their self-esteem. So, people with dementia like to help others. It makes them feel important. For a whole list of ideas, you can refer to our videos about activities. I have a 3-part video addressing distractions and activities. Music also might help in sundowning situations. Studies have shown that sundowning symptoms of agitation, aggression, and depression improved with only 30 minutes of music therapy 3 times a week. Music therapy can mean simply playing some of their favorite music. It doesn't have to be a formal music program. So 30 minutes, 3 times a week, 3, okay, of their favorite music, not ours, theirs. Reassure the sundowning person by letting them know that they are safe and using a calm, soothing voice. Let them know that everything is okay and that you're there to support them or even to protect them. If this person is angry, let them know that you understand and that you will do your best to make it better. It's important to validate their feelings. Validation is a whole nother topic that I could spend hours on. In fact, in my Certified Master Dementia Strategist course, we spend a lot of time on this. In fact, in that course, I give you over 250 exact phrases of things to say and not to say to a person with dementia. So if you're interested in that course, I'm getting off track, but if you're interested in that course, go to answersaboutalz.org and book a call with me and I can tell you all about the course. Anyway, okay. So at this point in the disease process and sundowning. I would highly recommend that you get my book, Forget Me Not. I think it's over. It's right there. It's right there. And we go into sundowning and validation techniques also in the book, which can really help you with your loved one. When you're dealing with sundowning, it's very important that the patient knows that you are listening to them. They need to be heard and understood. If you happen to be dealing with hallucinations, this can be particularly challenging. It is vital that you do not tell them that they are hallucinating. This is also not something that you should disagree with or argue about. Again, more videos on that, and we really cover all of that in the Certified Master Dementia Strategist course. So remember, you cannot argue with a person with dementia. If the hallucinations are frightening or upsetting to them, and all of your attempts to divert and redirect fail, it may be time to have the neurologist intervene and prescribe an antipsychotic drug, but only for certain dementias. Some dementias do not respond. In fact, it will make it worse. So please be very careful with antipsychotic drugs. Again, be reassuring. Hallucinations are covered in depth in my book and during the course. But when these behaviors arise, there are some things that we can try to rule out. So the first thing we should rule out are the basic needs that the person may be having. If they're sundowning, they may need to toilet. They may be just uncomfortable. Like maybe they have on uncomfortable clothing, or they may be in pain. Maybe they're hungry. Maybe they're thirsty. Maybe they're too hot or too cold. People with dementia are always cold, right? We know that. They might be looking for someone or something. When we're trying to help, the most important things to try to keep even lighting throughout the environment. Reduce the noise levels and the amount of stimulation in the environment. Try to get the person into sunlight for at least 10 minutes every morning. Morning is the best, which will help with the circadian rhythm to keep that in balance. Get the patient more vitamin D and don't let them sleep all day. Make sure to balance periods of rest with activities. When a person is experiencing sundown syndrome, they have trouble making sense of their environment. Shadows and glare can be especially disturbing, causing confusion. These disturbances can manifest into behaviors of anxiety, aggression, irritability, fear, a feeling of loss of control. Try to keep the lighting equal throughout the space. Dark spots or shadows can cause a feeling of distress, causing even more confusion. Bright light throughout your house or the community will provide a clearer picture of their surroundings. Now, I'm going to tell you a little story. This is a story about Dorothy. It's late afternoon, and Dorothy's behavior begins to change. It's like she's a completely different person. Her symptoms go through the roof, and she becomes completely unmanageable. She paces, she exit seeks, she's getting angry, she's nervous and jittery. Dorothy's caregiver has a new plan of action, knowing that these symptoms are coming, right? Because it kind of happens every day around the same time, right? The caregiver can plan and prepare. So before lunch, they get some exercise and they go and they stretch and they get in some sunshine. It is believed that getting 10 minutes, just 10 minutes of sunshine every day can resynchronize our circadian rhythm or the sleep-wake cycle. Even sitting by a window can be beneficial. So try that. Before the sun starts setting, the caregiver closes all the blinds and she closes all the curtains and turns on all the lights to minimize the shadows. Because she knows that Dorothy enjoys manipulating fabrics, because she used to be a seamstress. So she has a sewing box filled with different fabrics and ribbons to distract her into an activity that she enjoys before these symptoms erupt. We also know that she loves caramel candies and have a few of those on hand as well. She seems to respond better when we have a big smile and reassure her that we are feeling the same way that she is feeling and that we are right by her side. By reassuring her and having several activities planned, closing the blinds, and creating a less stimulating environment around her, we have really greatly reduced Dorothy's anxiety and reducing her sundowning symptoms. So that's the big mystery of sundowning. Sundowning is simply heightened or intense behaviors in the afternoon and evening that can continue throughout the night. The problem with these hyper behaviors is that many times this is when families decide they are no longer able to take care of their person at home, and often this is when a decision is made to move their loved one into a care setting. And while these behaviors and this syndrome will not last forever, it's very difficult to guess how long these symptoms are going to last. But the more we prepare and plan activities and distractions, again, watch those videos because the tools are out there. And it's so easy. Honest to God, it really is so easy. The easier these symptoms can be managed. I hope that if you're dealing with a person suffering from sundowning, that you are able to get some help. This is a very difficult time in your dementia journey. Sundowning just sucks. So let me know if you have any other questions about this topic. Just put them down there in the comments. I try to answer every single comment personally, so put those comments down there. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and head on over to answersabout.alz.org for some free downloads. And you can also learn about the Certified Master Dementia Strategist course. And also, too, if you are struggling with your loved one and you have a couple of just really bad things and you really need some one-on-one time, I do one-on-one coaching as well. So don't forget, together we can. I'll see you soon.